Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. Tonight we are doing our show. We've actually got 3 shows we're going to be doing. We're going to start out with This Week in Geek, where we break down the geek news, movie, TV, comics, whatever. I actually have no idea what we're talking about because I took no notes leading up to this. I don't know if you guys know, but we're going to figure it out. So why don't we jump into this thing? Let's introduce ourselves. I am Rob Southgate. With me is
Edward Lee.
And
Chris Mao.
All right. So welcome, everybody. You know what? I'm going to set a couple of things up first. Even though it's a podcast and we're up here talking, feel free to engage, talk to us. You know, if you got to knit at your table, that's cool. Whatever you got to do. This is a casual environment. We want it to be fun and we want it to be really interactive. So clap, laugh, have fun. It's a podcast. If you're sitting there silent, it's like the worst album ever. Right? Excellent.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So, let's get into this thing. Actually, do either of you have one to start with?
I will. The new Arrow Flash spin-off series.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Good topic. There you go.
Yeah. So, Chris, do you watch these? Do you watch Arrow and
I watch
Flash?
a little bit of Arrow. I have not watched Flash yet. So.
Okay.
Although I plan to binge watch at some point very soon.
Yeah. How about you guys? Does anybody watch Arrow or The Flash? Yes. Okay, a little bit. Actually, I've become a big fan of The Flash. I didn't jump on that Arrow train, but I've started watching it. Now I'm watching The Flash, and you tell what the news is here, Edward. This is pretty important.
Okay, so apparently last month it was reported that the CW was looking to get an Arrow spin-off.
Okay.
And now they're doing a spin-off on Arrow based on Ray Palmer, a.k.a. the Atom.
Yeah, and that's Brandon Routh is playing the Atom, right? So that a couple weeks ago on this show, we talked about how the Atom's costume was shown, and it looked very much like Ant-Man, and I didn't realize they were doing this to launch a new series.
They are, and also incorporating the Captain Cold and Heat and Firestorm.
Is Firestorm? Oh, yeah. Is that Firestorm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
So that's interesting because Captain Cold is Wentworth Miller, who... Did anybody watch Prison Break?
One person.
One person.
Yes.
2 people.
Okay. He was the lead. It was Wentworth Miller. He was the lead on Prison Break. And if you didn't watch the show, surprisingly, I mean, you think it's a show about people breaking out of prison. How did that last 3 seasons? But it's actually really cool. Although the 3rd season, they're in another prison. It's spoiler, they are back in prison.
Back in prison. So.
But it's actually a really good show. We really liked him, and he plays Captain Cold on Flash. The guy who played his brother on Prison Break, the reason he was breaking him out of prison, played. What was his name on Flash? Heat Miser?
Heatwave?
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Heat
Yeah,
Miser?
I don't know his name.
He's Mr. Heat Miser?
Yeah. And he wasn't my favorite on Prison Break, and he wasn't my favorite on Flash, so I'm glad he's not one of the characters. But Firestorm is, which is Victor Garber.
Not Firestorm. It's just Dr. Martin Stein. They're not going to have...
Yeah, but how do you have him and not have Firestorm?
They can make it to a prequel to when he becomes Firestorm, and it's when he's working on the Firestorm itself, the project.
No, that would be terrible. That would be terrible. Would you want to watch a superhero show that doesn't have any superheroes? Oh, it's real interesting. It's the scientist who's thinking about it. Here's Tony Stark before he's Iron Man sitting around thinking about the outfit. That doesn't work.
I think they had done a.
It doesn't. You think they had done what?
What's it
He's
called?
gonna.
Scene. They had one
Next
scene
thing
of
you
that.
know, they're going to do that about Batman. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah, they call it Gotham.
Yes.
Who would think that would work? No, you know what? I'll tell you what it is. It's not.
I like the show. I'll go on the record. I really like the show. So
It's not going to be a prequel. I'll tell you right now. The Victor Garber character, because Firestorm is two characters, they're going to have him be the old guy scientist, and you'll know that he, like, at some point, Robbie ML is going to show up and they're going to become Firestorm, but it's not every week with Firestorm. So he'll be kind of the secondary guy. I'm sure that's what they're doing.
Yeah, probably.
Because if it was a prequel, I mean, Captain Cold wasn't Captain Cold.
Oh,
it's
that's
just
true.
some guy who, like, robbed liquor stores. That's
And
not that interesting.
And same thing with Adam. He's just
He's
a billionaire.
yeah, like, it's just some guy. You know, he doesn't shrink down to microscopic size. So, but I think that's cool. I'm all in. I was not all in. I'd never watched Arrow because I love the Green Arrow, but to me it seemed like we're watching a CW show. Like, my dad would like that because he liked, like, Roswell. You liked Roswell, right? That was a CW show. He likes that stuff. I was not down with Arrow because of that, and then I started watching it. I'm like, oh, it's not one of those shows. So now I'm all in. I'm all in. It sounds awesome.
it's CW with production value is the way I look at it. So.
And without the teenage angst thing.
Sure.
You know? Sorry, Edward. Sorry to bring
No
up
ang-
that teenage
no-
angst.
no
I
angst
take
for
no
you.
offense to that. Because they were both teenagers once, so they're talking about themselves.
Oh, and there was a lot of angst. I just want to let you know. In the 80s, a lot of angst.
All right.
I think your mom just sold you down the river.
I
Just
think
wanna
she
let you
did
know.
too. You know what? That's what happens here. It's one of those kind of shows. Okay, I had other big ones. Oh, no. I'm going to jump right.
Are you going to the holy grail of This Week in Geek? Or?
There's actually a few, believe it or not.
Yes.
But this one, they announced that they're making Blade Runner 2. Was that not the Holy Grail?
That
you
is
have
the
another
holy
one?
grail, yeah. Well, the good holy grail.
That is.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Now, are you guys Blade Runner fans? You obviously are. Blade Runner
absolutely.
Fans. Does
I am,
everybody?
so.
Do you guys watch Blade Runner?
I have no idea what that is, so.
Uh-oh.
No.
Birthday boy, come on. You a Blade Runner fan?
Blade Runner?
No? I love Blade Runner. No, that's Blade.
That's Blade.
No, Blade Runner
There
is the
no
one with
runner.
Harrison Ford.
That's Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer.
Yes, he's going
Harrison
to
Ford
be.
impression now.
He's going to be Decker. You want
Right.
what? So. Yeah. I'm a replicant.
Blade Shuffler.
Yeah. Blade Shuffler.
Blade Shuffler.
Wait, well, he's supposed to be a replicant, so it'd be. It's time to change my oil. There's my Harrison Ford. You know what's funny? That Harrison Ford impression's terrible, but it shows up on the recordings, and it actually sounds okay. Here, it's terrible. I'm just warning you right now.
It's
my
not a
impressions are
visual.
awful.
Not visual.
But yeah, not visual. Well, I look exactly like him. Yeah.
Yeah.
After he's been hit by a car and shaved, and yeah, it's not good. So yeah, Blade Runner 2, man, and the guy directing it, I forget who it is. I don't have it pulled up here. I can't move that quickly, but it was somebody cool. And Ridley
Yeah.
Scott is producing it. I guess that
Right.
they've got a script already. They've even announced
The
that
original
it's-
writer is writing. One of the original writers.
Yeah, well, it's
is
not
writing
Philip
it.
K. Dick who wrote the story,
Right.
but yeah, it's like
is
the
it
right
Hempton
people.
or I can't remember the name. I had looked it
Dennis?
up. So
I don't know.
it's with an H. Where is it?
It's
Oh.
Villeneuve or something is the one
It's-
directing it. So
Right,
I'm
but the
I'm
writer.
totally in on this thing. I mean,
yeah, Dennis
yeah, that guy.
that guy.
Dennis Villeneuve.
Dennis the Menace.
All right, so I'm down with that one. That's
Well,
an awesome
I mean,
one.
that was one of those '80s movies that, if it had better special effects, would have been even more incredible because it was just a great story.
But
as
did
it
you
was.
think the effects were incredible? I
No,
thought
they were very good,
great
but-
in that. And then you had the little like midgety robot guy walking
Right.
around.
Hampton.
He was an Ewok. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
So-
same guy played an Ewok.
Was
Huh?
it Willow?
Hampton Fancher.
I wish.
Hampton Fancher.
Right, Hampton Fancher.
Right, he's one of the original writers.
Right, he wrote the second screenplay with somebody else.
And he's going to be a co-writer.
Right. And then whoever else, the director.
Yeah. I saw
so
that.
Cool.
I was excited because I think that would be great. So
yeah, they're going to take my money on that one. I love Blade Runner. I have the Blu-ray box that has the 4 or 5 different editions of the movie.
Right.
Which I've watched them all. I was going to say we have, but Martha, have you ever seen Blade Runner? Yeah, probably. Have you watched the multiple director's cuts with me? No, you haven't. No, you have no idea. You would be so bored. And I would sit there and go, this is the one where he does the voiceover, and this is the one where he folds the unicorn, and you'd be like, whatever.
Sure, whatever.
Yep. Nope, it's awesome. It's
you mean the 5 different movies with the same actors?
Yes, and it's also awesome.
It is very good.
It's like when I saw the director's cut of Lord of the Rings, and I didn't get bored. I could watch the director's cut of Blade Runner, but all 4 of them back to back to back, and I wouldn't get bored. Because it's awesome. Okay. Moving on. Did you have another Holy Grail? I've got a good one.
I was just saying the bad part. Can we talk about that?
What's the bad one?
Leonard Nimoy.
Oh.
I don't know if we want to talk about that or not.
Way to bring the podcast down.
Well,
yeah,
bringing
I
the podcast down, but I think
okay.
it's huge geek news. Let's get into that one.
So first of all, just to commemorate him, from his own words that he says in a movie, "May the odds and the force be ever in your favor, Harry," by Spock. I just got a bunch of people angry. May the odds and the force be forever in your favor.
Why would the force be with you? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
What?
I just made a.
Do you serve alcohol here? What happened?
No, I don't know.
Are you the new Jack?
No.
I'm so confused.
I don't talk about Catwoman.
There we go.
Okay, so who said? Okay, so may the odds and the force be ever. He didn't say that.
I know.
What did he say? He did say something like that. You know what he said? I've always been and will always be your friend. I screwed it up.
Yes.
I've always been your friend. Yeah.
I think it's I always am and always will be your friend.
What is that?
I
always have been.
I always have been and always will be
your
your friend.
Yes. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that we're done making fun of this,
I'm tearing up thinking about that.
You know what? I am too. That scene, I can't watch Wrath of Khan for a little bit because of that scene. Sure. That was always tough. It's Spock's death scene, and it's
spoiler
brutal,
alert from 30 years ago.
But it's brutal. And it was brutal then. I watched it actually recently, not even obviously knowing anything, going, oh, and even knowing in the next movie, spoiler, he was reborn.
He comes back. So.
But, man, that's a great scene. And Nimoy is an absolute touchstone. He's one of those guys that anything you see him in, there's always that Nimoy factor. Like everyone, he's transcended the character of Spock, and Spock is bigger than life character.
Yes.
So this is a real bummer, man.
Well, he made the transition from the original Star Trek to the J.J. Abrams version.
Yes,
which
he was great in it.
And he was great in it, and you could even tell in the last one I know he's been in poor health, and he did not look tremendously good. Even being 83, he wasn't looking that great, and it's a shame. And I knew he was sick the last couple of months, really bad, because they reported he was in and out of the hospital. But yeah, he was amazing, and he always had a touch of dignity and. Even when he did Spock, and that was 50 years ago, he was.
Well, he took it all seriously,
right?
And he actually became an accomplished director. Mm-hmm. He directed Star Trek 4. Everybody's seen that one, right? The one with the whales.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's the one that my mom, who doesn't care anything about this stuff, was like, "Oh, I like the one with the whales." Because it's funny, and they're friendly, and it's all the kindly
Too
Star
much
Trek.
LDS in the 60s. My favorite Star Trek line. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I also want to point out that he sang the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins, which is quite the song. Everyone talks about the Shatner Rocket Man, and that. No. The Ballad of Bilbo is awesome.
I watched the YouTube of it last night, and I was horrified, but that's okay. So.
It's one of those things that's it was a contractual obligation, I'm sure.
Yep.
But he does it full on.
Oh no, he was into it. He's
into the thing,
I think he was
man.
getting paid, and he's an actor. He's a pro. he did it. So he's like, I'll get paid. I'll give it a shot, and let's go. So
he's always a good time.
I just wonder what's going to happen, and not to say it like this, but what's going to happen with the Spock character in the J.J. Abrams and how they're going to do it, because I think they relied on Spock a lot.
But do you think they were going to going forward? They don't need him to come back in time going forward.
Well, they don't need to, but I mean, but he's still relevant of the J.J. Abrams version,
right? But
I mean, are they going to address it and say he passed, or
they could? But since it's out of time, I mean, they could just kind of let that thread go, and we never really. We all assume at some point they're all dead, right?
Well, right, but he's there in that present. He is there in that. Because
right, true. At the end of the movie, he was still there.
Well, no, even in the second one, he's the guy who's leading the Vulcan colony to revitalize Vulcan.
Yeah, and he's out of his Vulcan mind.
He is. And
thank you.
And Zachary, it's
Quinto.
I always say his name wrong. He addresses him and asks him questions several times in the movie. They ask him about Khan.
So do you think they'll do one of these things where he picks up like his trick iPad and he talks to him, like FaceTimes him, and that's how they get around it?
Maybe they have something that's already in the can that they can use. I don't know. So,
and of course he's old Spock, so we won't know how to use it. He'll be sitting there like fumbling with his iPad. How do you turn this thing on? I can't understand this. Yeah, that's how it'll be.
Exactly. He can reprogram everything, but he can't work an iPad. That's typical Star Trek.
Right. I'm sitting up here all cool, I can't figure out how to change the setting on this iPad, so I have to have it laying down.
Right. Scotty really can reprogram and teleport from moving ship to moving ship at warp speed and can't use a Mac.
Right. Yep.
Makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Sorry.
So, okay, well, that was the bummer news. He was an icon, and he'll be missed. He'll be missed. So
absolutely. So
I like to. We should just give him a one of these. So yep. Look, we're getting it from everybody.
There you go. I can't do that. So, and for those of you who can't hear, I cannot do the live long and prosper.
All right. Well, we just did it.
Everybody did it.
Hey, it's not just one finger, Dad. It's the whole thing.
I can hold on my hand. See, there you go.
Yep. Even my daughter's doing it. Hey, you know what? That's what's amazing about it. Now, Molly our daughter has seen very little Star Trek. She's heard me talk about it, but she knows who Spock is. She knows what this is because it has transcended.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's Leonard Nimoy, really. He just, Okay, I'm getting teary up here. If we start talking about the end of E.T., I am going to burst out. That is the worst.
Old Yeller. We can do Old Yeller,
too.
Well, I think Star Trek is one of those shows that in 1966 it was futuristic, and we strove to recreate that because of cell phones. And
many things.
There's a lot of things that came out of that, the scanner device, like ultrasound.
I'm completely emotionless, so I got that from Spock. So
absolutely so. Except inside, so that would.
That's right. Okay, we're gonna shift gears. This was actually big news, but I don't know if anyone else in the house here is going to care about it as much as I am. But they announced the lead for next year's American Horror Story. Did you read this? Lady Gaga is playing the lead, and they announced that the name of it is American Horror Story Hotel.
Yeah.
So there was all this. Anyone that follows this show knows that they change it every year. And it's always a big thing. What's it going to be about? And when this season started, the creators of the show said there are hints in there about what the next season is about from the first episode. So there was all this alien stuff. Elsa sang Life on Mars. People were like, oh, it's going to be an alien thing.
Right.
I don't know what the hints were yet. Why is it a hotel? What is this about?
Well, the hint in the first show is that's where she puts the twins up. Not the twins.
In a hotel?
I think it's in a hotel. I mean, they're in the hospital, but aren't they in a hotel as well?
I don't remember that.
Before they bring, I think they are.
See, I wonder if it's as literal. Oh, maybe that is the hotel. Maybe that will be some of the crossover. Well, anyway, it's Lady Gaga, and I'm actually thinking this is a brilliant move because I don't care if you like her music. I don't care if you're into that whole pop thing. She is interesting. And a show like that,
right,
having interesting characters is the whole game.
Maybe it's going to be a brothel.
It could be. Way to put an explicit rating on this podcast, lady.
Edward took care of that already. So.
Right.
That's it. Well, you know what? Not only is she interesting and very pop culture, she's very talented. If you heard her performance at the Oscars, that was unbelievable, which very much surprised me. I heard her sing. I'm like, that's Lady Gaga.
You know what? So, you know why it didn't surprise me? There is, you can Google this. She was on the Howard Stern show, and she did acoustic with a piano. She just sang one of her songs with a piano, and I'm not a fan, but I'm telling you, jaw-dropping. I'm not a fan of that kind of that pop scene, and it's just not my thing. And I listened to it and was like, holy moly, she is uber talented. And I think this is one of these people that when she goes into this show, she's going to cross over, and we're going to be talking about how amazing she is on this show.
Well, I hope so, because it's a great series, and it's been great for all of those character type actors that they bring in. And I think it's good. Now, does this mean Jessica Lange is not coming back, or is she going to come back?
They have not said anything. She had said this was her last season, so we could have seen the last of Jessica Lange. But you know what? She doesn't get a movie role. It might not be the last we see of Jessica Lange. And you've still got, what's her name is in it? And I'm sure she's coming back. Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates, right.
She's amazing. And now Neil Patrick Harris is coming to the fold. And, well, he was in this last season, and he was awesome. I would imagine he'll come back.
How I Met Your Mother is off, so what are they going to do?
Yeah, what's he doing? He just sits around. Sits around in his boxers.
Host award
Waiting for the next Smurfs movie to come on.
That's right, yeah.
Edward, you're into that, right?
Nope.
Well, what was he just in? And he was great in it. Is it a movie? I can't remember where he plays the
Smurfs.
No, not the Smurfs. Or is it a TV show?
Smurfs 2.
Where he plays like the ex-jilted lover.
Oh no, Lost Girl or Gone Girl.
Was that Gone Girl?
That
Gone
one.
Girl, right?
Gone Girl. Gone Girl.
See, I'm making my point never to watch anything with the title "girl" in the title.
Well, you're missing out.
You're missing. That was a great movie.
Out. So. Yep. What was your thing? I heard one out there.
At one point in the Oscars this year, wasn't Neil Patrick Harris in only his underwear?
Yes. There was an homage to Birdman, because in Birdman, Michael Keaton goes backstage and goes out to smoke, and his robe gets caught in the door, and the door locks. And so he's in the middle of the play. He takes off the robe, walks all the way around in Times Square in his underwear and like slippers, and then walks into the theater and finishes the play.
Well,
it was that's what the whole thing was, where he walked in the.
I'm into this idea
that you're into that kind of stuff.
Well, no, I'm into the idea that I can now publicly sit around in my underwear. I think this is a move, just like Star Trek advanced.
Okay, the first official boo.
Yeah. All right, I guess the time for me to my time has not come yet, but it will someday.
But that's you know how they put in those little snippets from movies they try to incorporate those in the Oscars. That was right from Birdman. So.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that was happening, but I now feel a kinship to Neil Patrick Harris. Okay, this was one that I thought was interesting. Do you guys know there's another Rocky movie? I don't want to call it a sequel, even though technically it is. It's a spin-off, kind of. It's called Creed, and it's about Apollo Creed's son, and Rocky is training him. And slowly this has been building. I keep reading little things about it. It's starting to sound really cool. I hope it is. I liked the last one. I know a lot of people didn't. Did you guys see the last one?
No.
Rocky Balboa?
Nope.
Did anybody see Rocky Balboa? Yeah, you did. How about you, Mr. Birthday? Did you see Rocky Balboa?
No, she did not.
No? Okay.
I can answer that for her.
Mr. 3000?
Yes,
Mr. Birthday.
Mr. Birthday. You are Mr. Birthday now. Well, it's interesting because the approach they're taking in Rocky V, in the original script, Rocky was supposed to die at the end. Spoiler, he doesn't die. Hence, 2 more sequels. The studio wouldn't let it happen. Rocky Balboa, he wanted to kill the character. They would not let him kill the character. So he did some interesting things with it. This one, he is older. He's training Apollo Creed's son. And I guess that the story is about his ailing health. I think this is an interesting approach rather than, okay, there's going to be the big fight. Apollo Creed's son is going to win, blah, blah, blah. No, I I think it's about Apollo Creed's son, and Rocky has become the Mick character.
Right.
And I'm down with it. I love the Rocky movies, especially one. One is just 1 and 3.
One.
Up in it, fool.
Two.
Come on down here. You want to be with a real man?
The
You want to be with a real man?
first 3 were all good. I mean, the first one was the story about him, and the second one was just pretty much about
the second
fighting.
one was, hey, you know what? He didn't win the first fight.
Right.
Edward, spoiler. He didn't win the first fight. Sorry to ruin it for you. But the second one is the redemption.
Sure.
But the third one is great. And actually, the fourth one is fun. It's just the fifth one that's like, wow, what happened?
Yeah.
I'm rolling out the impressions. What happened at the fifth one?
Well, they were good. You know, the whole Cold War aspect of number 4 was not my favorite, but
no, but it was awesome. It was so 80s.
It was.
Draco Malfoy, I will destroy you.
He's not a man. That's all that, the whole.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? It's not good. It's just awesome fun.
Sure.
Mr. T is way awesome fun.
Oh yeah.
Though.
Well, 3 is good because he's fighting Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
He's fighting Mr.
What was
T.
his name in that? Do you remember his name? Did you see Rocky 3?
No.
What is wrong with you? Why do you go to school? You need to stay home and watch things.
Netflix, catch it. So.
Yeah. So what was his name? It was like Sweet something or.
I can't think of it.
Oh, it was so great. And he had the big long hair and the bald head.
He did. Well, he had the big hat. He was like the combination. He was like the combination of.
Yeah. I know who you mean. Ooh, that one. Ooh, yeah. That guy. Step into a Slim Jim. That guy with the hat.
I can't believe I can't think of his name.
I can't believe how many impressions I've rolled out tonight.
Right.
Usually I have none.
But he was. Yes, there we go.
Yes! Good call. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man.
You know what? We're going to play a trivia game later. She just got 20 points.
That's right. Did she get it for the crowd?
She got it for the crowd. Crowd is up 20 points. Birthday boy, you're going to have to work.
Macho Man's my all-time favorite professional wrestler.
Macho Man is, but you couldn't remember his name.
I couldn't remember his name. I'm old and senile.
Okay.
I apologize.
Well, I have one that you two probably won't care about. It's
I don't know about that. We seem to care about everything and have an opinion on everything.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Who?
Video game.
Okay.
The new video game that came out. They released the trailer for it.
Why wouldn't I care about that? I didn't play the last one. Isn't there? There's Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum,
Arkham City, Arkham. I can't say that name.
Arkham Planet.
No,
Origins.
Yes, that.
I didn't play that one, but I played the other two all the way through. In fact, I did on Arkham City or Arkham Planet or whatever it was.
Arkham City.
What was that?
Did you do it backwards?
Yes, I did the thing where I beat it and then I went back to play the Catwoman one and then played it through a second time after what happened with the Catwoman storyline, which was
Did you collect all of the Riddler tokens?
I did not get all of them. I'm still working on it, but yeah, this is big news, so go ahead. What's up?
The trailer, it actually switched what I was thinking about it. I thought it was about him taking down separate corporations of the Batman, like the Penguin, and they get rid of the Two-Face.
Right.
But it's actually not that. The trailer shows that Scarecrow is combining all the villains, as in all the villains. It is Two-Face, the Penguin, the Riddler, Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy into one group to take down the Batman.
So it's kind of like Batman Sinister Six.
Yes. And what's happening
is... you think we wouldn't care about this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what?
I just want to know, can I play Harley Quinn and just
yes, you
bash
can.
everybody?
I thought that whatever Robbie was a good choice for Harley Quinn, but now I think you're the better choice.
CGI. It's fantastic.
Okay. Who is it? Michelle Robbie or something?
Michelle Robbie, yes.
I don't know. Does anyone know who this actress is? Did you see Wolf of Wall Street? Anybody? Okay. Remember the blonde girl that's like his girlfriend that's so gorgeous and he makes a big point like she is the crown jewel of the East Coast and blah, blah, blah. She's playing Harley Quinn. So she is going to be beautiful and perfect, and I just said that Chris could give her a run for its money. That's what I was talking about. I have to draw a roadmap to my jokes sometimes, especially for Martha. She's out there taking notes. Okay.
A lot of dots to connect there. So.
Yeah.
And all that was released was really a trailer, but it looks like you're going to actually, first time in 3 games, you can use the Batmobile.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because in the one they had it just like jacked up, and you went by and like they were like the tires were off it or something, and you're like, oh, well, I can't
You'll
get in there.
appreciate this. Is this going to be the Batmobile that was at the Antique Auto Museum in Highland Park?
Oh.
Remember that?
Yes.
Making the homage. It's like, it's the Batmobile.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Oh.
I just want them to release a DLC with a Robin, then you can ride the Robin bike.
That would be sweet. Why aren't you working for them? I think you need to work harder at schoolwork rather than watching Rocky all day, so you can get that job. All right, I'm shifting gears. I'm going to go to the Lego Movie because this I thought was cool.
Nice.
So, the director has been announced for the Lego Movie, and the last one was Chris Lord and whatever the guys that did something. They're funny. Obviously, we all love the Lego Movie, right?
Yes.
He's talking about the sequel.
Right. So the sequel, they're writing the sequel. Same guys are writing the sequel, but the director, I only bring this up because, wait till you hear this, is a guy named RobSchrab. Okay. Here's why I bring RobSchrab up. He directs a lot of TV. He directs the show Community a lot.
Okay.
He is friends with Dan Harmon, who is the creator of Community. 20-some years ago. How long ago was this, Martha? Lay it out there. How long ago were we at the Comic-Con that because I talked about this with you today. We, at the 20th anniversary Chicago Comic-Con, which is now Wizard World, and now it's no longer the 20th, who did, blah, blah, blah. Okay, at the 20th anniversary Chicago Comic-Con, which was in like 1991 or something, or 94, I think, Martha and I made a zine, and we ended up on a list of guests of honor at this thing, and we sat in Artist Alley with our zine. We had 2 issues and whatever. Yeah, we had issues.
But
and guess what?
2 were printed.
We got more issues now, let me tell you. We did panels there, too. Kitty Corner to us was the table with some guys that had started a comic book, and they were like, oh, you guys you're guests of honor, and blah, blah, blah. Like, they were all thinking it was cool. And we got talking, and at the time I was doing improv acting, and they were like, oh, we're from Milwaukee. We do improv acting. And when I see this story, I remember that, yeah, those 2 guys were Dan Harmon and RobSchrab. Yeah.
Different paths is what you're saying.
Different paths. He's directing the Lego Movie. I worked in a futon store for a while. What does that tell you? We peaked early. That's right.
You should have rode that fame for guest of honor for a while.
Bright shining moment, they were jealous of us.
That's right.
So, yeah, but I think that's awesome that he's directing the Lego Movie. I think he's a very funny guy. The thing I remembered is they did a comic book. The reason they were there, they had a comic book called Scud, the Disposable Hero. And what it was
I totally remember that.
You remember Scud?
I remember Scud,
The
yes.
idea was that the hero would go to a vending machine that had the parts that made up his superhero-ness, and that's hashtag superhero-ness. I know you want to do that later. Hashtag it.
Trademark tonight.
So they'd put in their change, and they would get a new arm, and he'd put it on, and yeah, I'm back in business. That's what the idea was. It was a funny book.
How much money did he spend at that vending machine?
I have no idea. There's a question for the ages.
Yes.
So, yeah, RobSchrab directing Lego Movie. I think that's awesome.
Because
awesome.
he's also directed the Monster House. Yes.
No,
Monster House.
He directed Monster House?
Yes, and that's why I'm really excited for that because it's amazing animated show, really funny, really...
What, Monster House?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're huge fans.
It was kind of creepy when I was like 6, I think.
It was too
6.
creepy for you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Austin.
but now you're okay with it?
Yeah.
Austin.
Okay.
It's because of that guy.
Okay, moving on.
Oh, you know what? I went to the
something?
movies. I saw the Fantastic Four trailer.
Yes, you finally saw it.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're in?
I'm in, totally in. So
Were you in before you saw it?
I would have watched it anyway. And then
We'll watch anything. We've talked about a lot of movies here. We will watch anything.
We will watch anything, but I'm genuinely
into
excited.
this,
I am
though.
into this. So
I am too. I think it looks cool. How about you? You still hate it?
Yes. I didn't say hated it. I'll watch it because it's Marvel.
Yeah, you'll watch it because it's Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Lately, I haven't had any high hopes for any movies that are coming out lately.
Mr. Negative.
I don't like any of the comics. I don't like the Ultron comics, and I
Okay.
don't like the Fantastic Four comics. So
Okay.
I've never
All
read
right.
the comics, and I like the movies, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
I like it all because that's who I am.
That's right.
Everything is awesome. Maybe you haven't heard this song. Let me do it for you. Everything is awesome.
Hey,
Okay.
I did not know that Andy Samberg was part of that, and so I was hooked with that. With everything was awesome when I saw that. So
Okay, I got another one. This is another. Just as that last one was big news. Now that I know about Monster House, big news in our house. This is also big news in our house. Pee Wee Herman has a new movie that is Netflix only, directed by Paul Feig. I love Pee Wee Herman. It is yes, it's Paul Rubens playing Pee Wee. He and Harrison Ford are going to be in. No, I'm kidding. But they are set to go into production starting next month, and I like this. I like this idea. He did a stage show a couple years ago. Everyone thought that whole property was dead. Like, who cares, right? Who cares about seeing another Pee Wee thing, except for me? So they did this stage show a couple years ago, and the reviews were incredible. People said that saw this thing said, why didn't he do this 10 years ago? Because it was so incredibly funny. It's like he's been waiting to okay, time to do this again.
right.
I have high hopes for this because I think he could pull off something really funny.
Well,
and I love that Netflix is doing it.
He's talented and funny, and I think he was waiting for a lot of the smoke to clear because there was a lot of smoke to clear. And in comparison to things that are today, it's very tame. But at the time, it was a big thing,
right.
especially being in the.
If it was now, he's like the Kim Kardashian of that time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he had opened a dry cleaner. Drop your pants there. Okay, never mind.
But boom. Hello.
I'll just keep that joke to myself. Anyone that wants to hear it, we'll do it when the mic is off. Okay. Let's see. I got no laughs on that. I just got groans.
I have one.
Yeah,
Edward
do
has
it.
one, what?
There is going to be a Men in Black and Jump Street crossover movie. Maybe.
Okay.
Here you go.
Yes. We've talked about this before. Haven't we talked about, you've been at every one of these shows. Haven't we talked about this before? How dare you not remember every word I say? Actually, no, you're right, Edward.
It was leaked, but now that...
It was leaked, but now they're making it sound like it might happen.
Yes, he just has to figure out what it sounds like is the director. He just has to figure out with the actors Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum.
Right.
It seems like they haven't...
Well, and you know what's funny? When the news broke, I went, oh, no.
Oh, yes.
And now the more I'm getting into it,
No,
I think I've switched. I'm like, please, make it happen.
You have Channing Tatum with Will Smith.
I don't know if you're going to get Will Smith, and I don't know if you're going to get them. I don't know if you're going to get them.
Ferrantino?
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get... You could get her.
Yes.
But I don't think you're getting Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. You might get Harrison Ford. I hear he's up for a lot of jobs right now. I'm Men in Black.
I don't know. Well, no,
I'm down with it.
I think the idea would be good, but I don't know if the time of Men in Black has passed just because of the last one.
I don't
sure.
think that. Okay, here's my thought on that. I don't think the time has passed for anything. I think that when people get bored with something and they're like, yeah, I'm moving on, it just needs to be regenerated. We're sitting in a Doctor Who cafe. What have they taught us for 50 years?
Well, yes.
You take it, you regenerate it. What's old becomes new again, and it works. So why couldn't that work? It's a great story. Just don't make the same movie again.
Well, do they make one of them like the director because he passed, right? It wasn't Rip Torn. Well, it was
Rip Torn?
No, who was it? The guy
Rip Taylor.
Rip
No. Which one is
Rip Torn.
Which
It's
is
Rip
the one
Torn.
that threw the money? Wow,
No,
ladies.
that was Rip Taylor.
That was Rip Taylor.
Rip Torn has passed away, I believe.
Did he?
I think so. A couple of years ago. And so would that make would they bring Tommy Lee Jones back as the director, even though he may or may not be there, and they bring them in? So
I mean, if
who
they
knows?
do,
At this point, I mean,
no, they need to have Agent M be the director.
who's Agent M?
Michael Jackson.
But spoiler, he died.
I know.
So
if you saw him in the movie,
they could
that's
have
the best thing ever.
Gary Busey come back as director. No, suddenly they're taking all my money, and I'm in on
Dennis
that
Rodman, because he is an alien.
Yeah, they could have Johnny Depp show up because you saw him die in the first 21 Jump Street movie. Have him come back as the director. Hey, aren't you dead? No, I'm alien. I'm Johnny Depp. That would work. We're spitballing here, folks. It's not working. Okay, we're almost out of time. I'm trying to see if there were other big ones. I know there was another really big one I wanted to talk about. I'm not finding it here. Nicolas Cage and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are going to be in Oliver Stone's Snowden movie. I am very excited about that. I like Oliver Stone movies. I like this cast. I think it's good to see Nicolas Cage not doing over-the-top crazy Nicolas Cage. I think he'll be great in it.
Sure.
Are you into that?
No, because he's good. He's when he plays I hate to say a solid character, but a somewhat grounded character, and I'm saying the National Treasure character is somewhat grounded. I really enjoyed those. I like those 2 movies. Those were really good.
Yeah,
and then
those
he
are great.
plays, the Sorcerer's Apprentice. He's in that. It's like, no. He's too wacky to play wacky. That's the problem.
Yeah. Although everyone hates him in Ghost Rider, and I love him in Ghost Rider. The movies aren't good, but I love him in Ghost Rider. He's nuts.
He is. So
Bad Lieutenant, he's nuts. Yeah, I like him. Although, you know what? The first time I really noticed him, he was in, when we were in high school, there was a movie called Valley Girl. Anyone remember Valley Girl?
Valley Girl. Yes.
I loved that movie back then.
Yes.
Now you try to watch it and you're like, oh, yeah. I think I sat too close to the microwave when I was a kid.
There wasn't a whole lot of experience to go on. So, hey, this is good. No, sorry.
But he was the lead in that. So that was really the first time I really saw him. That or Fast Times. But then he was in Peggy Sue Got Married, and I hated him in that so much that it made me, for a long time, anything he was in, I wanted nothing to do with him.
He was in Back to the Future, too.
What?
He was one of Biff's guys. But he wasn't.
No, Nicolas Cage was not.
Yes, he was. He wasn't Nicolas Cage. He was Nicolas Coppola. He was Nicolas Coppola in that movie.
Back to the Future?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because Billy Zane was one of his guys. Somebody look it up. Look it up.
Now I may be addled.
Oh, I really hope you're wrong. It's Billy Zane.
Fight.
Yeah, Geek-Tastic Cage match right here.
That's not a cage match.
No, it's not.
It could be, though.
Well, everyone's looking it up. I think I found what you missed. The Spider-Man's going to be black.
Now, did they announce officially that he is? No, they didn't say that. They announced that he's not going to be white, possibly.
He is 95% sure he's not going to be white, and there's a strong chance that he's going to be black. But he could also be Latino. Just to hold you in there, he could be Latino.
Well, yeah. Are they doing the Miles Morales character? Every one of these shows, we fall into a Spider-Man hole. We're not going to let that happen, I promise.
No.
But Danny Glover is the one that everyone thinks should be Spider-Man. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be a bold move. Why not? They keep doing the Peter Parker story, and I grew up reading the Peter Parker stories, but it's all changed in the comics. Why not set him up in the Marvel Universe, set him up a different way, do Miles Morales or Peter. It was I can't say it. There was an Indian version of Peter Parker. I can't say it.
Well, you sound French.
I sound. You know what? Didn't you know that India was bought by France, and there's a big.
Yes.
No, that is all false.
I am
every
incorrect.
bit of it.
I am incorrect on my Nicolas Cage, and I do apologize.
Oh, you got the beat down.
It is. It's okay. My
How about the fact
my
that
80s are very squished together. So.
Yeah. You used to drink a lot in the 80s. Now you don't care what the temperature is, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to play golf in the 80s, and
now I don't care what the temperature is.
That's right.
Okay. Superman. There's a Supergirl show coming to CBS. I don't know if anybody knows about this. Anybody hear about it? Wow, nobody cares about it? Okay. Well, anyway, there is a Supergirl show coming to CBS, and the news that broke this week is actually kind of important for people that like that. Superman is going to be in that universe. Doesn't mean he's going to be a regular, but Superman is there. That was something they said, you're never going to put Superman on TV. This is like kind of a big deal. It's like how Batman isn't on Arrow, even though he's part of that universe. They're actually bringing Superman, so they're going to cast a Superman. And two big casting things came out this week. Helen Slater is going to be a regular on the show, and who's the guy that played him in Lois and Clark? Come on, he was an ex-football player. Dean Cain,
sorry.
Dean Cain is also going to be a regular. They haven't said who they are. My guess is they're going to be like her adoptive parents. But Helen Slater was Supergirl in that unbelievably awful movie from the 80s. Did you ever see the Supergirl movie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Atrocious.
my gosh. As bad as Superman 4 is, the quest for a good script, which it didn't find, Supergirl is 10 times worse.
It's Tank Girl bad.
It's worse.
That something so horrible came out in the 80s.
It is hard to believe. Howard the Duck is an Oscar winner compared
Yes.
to Supergirl.
You're too young. I was going to say something.
I'm too young for what?
Nothing.
How dare you,
Nothing.
sir?
Nicolas Cage update. He was not in Back to the Future, but he was in Fast Times.
Yes.
Didn't I say that?
He did. I already
did say-
apologized.
He also already said that
my-
Nicolas Cage wasn't in that.
My internet must be faster since you're 10 feet away.
She had to,
so it's okay.
update Farmville a little bit, and then she had to. Oh, and then the Nicolas Cage thing. As long as we're in it.
Hey, Rob, update. The Berlin Wall has fallen.
What? Wait, she's looking it up right now to see if that actually
she's
happened.
checking if that happened. So, hey, I went and saw. I want to do it. I guess a geek. I went and saw Kingsmen.
Oh yeah, how was
yesterday,
that? I haven't seen
which
that
I
yet.
really enjoyed. I didn't know if I should take it as a serious movie or as a kind of spoofy movie because I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
But I saw the trailer for Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh
And
yes, how was that?
it
Are
looks-
they going funny on it? Because that's my fear is that it's going to be like.
I think they're going a little bit campy, but I think it's going to be good.
Okay. 'Cause I
Henry
love Man from U.N.C.L.E. I think it's cool.
Cavill, is that how you say his name?
Henry Cavill,
Cavill, the guy who played Man of Steel, Superman in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
He is the Man from U.N.C.L.E., and he looks. It looks really good.
Oh, anyone else like Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
One person.
There you
You
go.
had the board game? I wish we had the board game now. That'd be fun to play. Did you have the board game?
No.
No.
I was just going to comment that they we recently saw an episode that had Leonard Nimoy. This is a Man of U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy, Captain Kirk, William Shatner,
Shat.
and the guy that played Colonel Clink in.
Shut up.
Get outta
Colonel
here.
Clink was in it?
Werner von. What's his
How
name?
have we? Where did you see
Werner,
this? Was it
Werner
on
von Klemmer?
One of the older.
like Me TV or something?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I now
awesome.
have to get a season pass for Man from U.N.C.L.E. They were all in one episode? Werner Klemper.
Von Klemper, writer of Klemper.
Werner Klemper.
Yeah.
I actually have a story about him. I have a story about everybody. What?
I want to.
You look it up.
It's
look
Schultz
up
or
the
nothing.
Berlin Wall thing, and then on next week's show, Martha will tell us who Colonel Clink was.
They landed on the moon. Did you know?
Yeah, right. Okay, I have a story about Colonel Clink, and I'm going to tell only part of it because I don't want to get sued. But a friend of mine lived in California, and this is back in like the 70s when he was growing up, and actually it was in the 80s that this happened. And he was at some party, and he said they're going through this house, and he said it was one of these like crazy house parties, like all sorts of things going on, and he's a kid, and he's walking through with his eyes like giant, going, "Oh, look! Oh, there's what's going on there." And illicit things happening. Edward, close your ears. And I'm telling your mom. He said they're winding through this house. Like the person's taking him on a tour, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" Winding him through the house, takes him through the basement, and everything. They go up into. It had one of these lofts. It's like the attics. It's a bigger, so it's a loft. Isn't that what you'd call it? I don't watch House Hunters. Anyway, up there was a group of people engaged in something that might make you cough. Okay? And sitting on the floor doing this with these teenagers was Colonel Clink. He said it was the most surreal thing he's ever seen. Like all these like teenagers, and then Colonel Clink.
Colonel Clink.
Like, wow. Did you find Hogan? I mean, that is just awesome.
If LeBeau showed up, then it would just be.
If LeBeau showed up, then it would be match game. If LeBeau showed up. Yeah, update.
Brett Summers.
Werner Klemper.
What did I say?
You said something else.
I said Klemper. He got Werner.
I don't think you were even close.
I was so close. I was
Hey,
so close.
Martha, I was raised on Channel 9, so I saw every
You wanna-
rerun on the planet. Yes.
Now, you know where you can't get me? I don't know who played Schultz.
His name was Schultz.
His name was Schultz. I love Schultz.
Schultz was great.
But I got John Banner. See, look at that. Good thing you got the internet over there, lady. All right, are we done? Was that it?
I think
believe
so.
so.
All right, I think that's it. Anyone else have any geek news they wanted to bring up before we close it out? Oh, that's because I can't find it. I can't work the iPad. Okay, talk amongst yourselves for a second. Martha found something this week, and it is really cool. Is it just called an amusement park? Okay. It's
They're
not
doing
the
a Hobbit-
amusement park.
They're doing a Lord of the Rings amusement park.
Yes!
I'm moving in.
It's a race to fill this out. Margot Robbie just popped up on my screen here. That's the one that I was saying is really pretty that's playing Harley Quinn.
It's going to be called
FYI.
the Shire.
It's called the Shire. Okay, it says Harry Potter fans can go to theirs. DC fans can go to Six Flags.
Coming to Spain.
It's coming to
Oh, yeah.
Spain. Win, because we can do live podcasts in Spain.
Nice.
Welcome to El Blue Box.
It's going to
El
cost.
Azur. I have
to
no idea how to say it. in
Live at El Blue Boxio.
It costs.
¿Cómo está usted?
There's a-
¿Dónde
there-
está Middle Earth?
Spanish. There's the evil word associated with this, potential.
No. Well, you know what? If we can make it fulfill its potential by Chris, you're going to take over the rest of this building. I've got Chris doing all sorts of things here. You're going to take over the rest of this building, and we're going to make it a Middle Earth theme park
That would
in
be cool.
here. We can all go exploring, and
So,
Martha, you can go into the little hobbit hole because you're short. Yes.
so what I found was that the Lord of the Rings,
Did you just call me a hobbit hole?
it does not have a time to release. It
So in other
just-
words, this is somebody trying to get some traction. It's a 20-acre park at only $2 million.
Correct.
We could raise that.
No, it's 1.7
We could raise that.
1.7 million euros.
Or that costs $2 million.
Which is approximately $2 million.
$2 million.
No, it's euros.
Read that.
No, it says 1.7 million euro. That's basically a 20-acre park that costs $2 million. So it's not very big. Why don't they just cut to the chase and make New Zealand
Hold on.
the entire
Hold on.
thing the Middle Earth theme park?
There's.
I mean,
they
really?
could. Because Peter Jackson alone could afford it.
Exactly. Let's make
There's-
that happen.
My father is currently visiting New Zealand, or as we speak. And
Okay.
he told me the interesting fact: there's 4 million people in New Zealand and like 30 million sheep. So
Well,
I'm just saying, there's a
so
a
there's
lot
lots
of
of
land.
lots of room for a theme park. Let's do it.
Mutton.
All right.
It's not a
That's-
very big park.
It's not a very big park. No, were you listening? Is anybody listening?
No. But my favorite quote on this on the site with this is, "I was all in until you said Spain."
Is that what it says on here?
That's the
Aw.
first quote I read, which was great. So
I think Iowa should get it. They don't. They got the
Iowa.
corn
They have
castle.
Field
and
of
that's
Dreams.
it.
What are you talking about?
I think-
Field of Dreams.
Yeah. You know what?
And I've been there. It's
So have I. Didn't I tell you the story about this? I have one more story, and then we're going to end this show. So we go to the Field of Dreams, and I am not a sportsman, if you can't tell. So we go to the Field of Dreams, but I love movies, and we find the field and everything, and I'm just like dying. I mean, it's the movie. It's
Right.
awesome. It's like magic, and you're like, oh, it's so cool.
except for the power line running through the middle of it.
Well,
that
okay,
part.
so nobody was there, and I'm like walking around the field and like steal a little dirt, and it's like all cool and everything. And then this family, these two dads and their boys show up, and they've got balls and bats, and they're like kind of playing, and we go and we sit in the stands, and I'm just sitting there watching, like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And the dad looks up at me and he goes, hey, do you want to pitch? Do you want to throw one off the mound? It's the Field of Dreams. It's really cool. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know if I can make it from the pitcher's mound to. Can I do the girly pitch and stand halfway? And
Did you think
I'll do
you'll
a
be-
couple of push-ups on my knees? I
Do you think
mean,
you turn into Moonlight Graham? I'm just wondering.
so I was so excited. So I go and I get on the pitcher's mound, and I'm just, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And the guy kneels down, and he's got the mitt, and the kid's over here, and I throw the first ball, and he catches it, and I'm like, oh, that was amazing. And he goes, well, you're not done, throw a couple more. I'm like, really? So I go and I close my eyes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw another one. I'm going to get it across the plate, and and I throw the ball, and just as I throw the ball, his stupid kid walks right in front of it, and I beat the kid right in the head at the Field of Dreams, crying. It's like Norman Rockwell poster just like went up in flames right there.
Then he died.
And then the kid died of an aneurysm. And that kid turned out to be Leonard Nimoy.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's my Field of Dreams story. It's so horrible. Every time I think of the Field of Dreams, I think of a kid crying, and he's probably got like a big welt still to this day.
And he hates Kevin Costner because
just
of it.
say Rob is smiling right now when he says he's crying.
I know, it's so funny. I would do it again. I would actually aim. See, if I had aimed, I wouldn't have hit him. That's the best part.
In the movie, they miss because he walks right in front of the
Yeah, right. Maybe I thought the kid was a ghost.
That's right.
Maybe I thought it was Ray Liotta Jr. because it's a kid.
Boo.
Yeah,
Boo.
I don't know if Edward didn't. I had to explain it. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening to This Week in Geek, everybody. This was February 28th. And, we'll be back next week. I almost said 29th. Yes. It's not leap year. See, I did know that. All right, we'll be back next week for This Week in Geek. And thank you so much. Thank you, Blue Box. Let's hear it for them.
Thank you.